Did you know that there is one planet or asteroid that can predict a person's greatest wound, greatest pain point, greatest issue in their life? Lotus Dawn here with Blossom with the Stars, true to the actual stars, sidereal astrology. And right now, this planet or asteroid, if you will, Chiron, the Wounded Healer, it is known in astrology, is currently exactly opposite the sun. This is big news in astrology, and it's highly predictive of events, situations, and ways in which we may be feeling as a collective. So join me to tap into what is Chiron, the Wounded Healer? How might it be affecting you, your friends, your family, your energy, your emotions, and the world? And how can we move through this aspect? So Chiron in Greek mythology is known as the greatest healer and teacher of all time. He taught all of the great heroes, like Hercules, taught them about literature and language and herbology and healing. However, one day he got pricked by a poisonous arrow and he began to suffer deep pain, but he was immortal, so he could not die. Eventually, the pain was so bad and he grew so tired of suffering that a fellow half immortal who had gone up and taken fire from the god and brought it down to the mortals, Prometheus, his fellow friend, who took fire from the gods and brought it down to the people, well, got in huge trouble from the gods. And the gods chained him to a rock where every morning an eagle would come and eat out his liver. Well, Chiron, going through extreme suffering and agony and being a great healer that could heal everybody's pain except his own, offered his life for Prometheus, said, free Prometheus from this torture and this agony he's in. I will take his place. And so the god said, sure. And Chiron became a great constellation, a great asteroid in the sky. And so Chiron in astrology represents our deepest, our greatest wound. And after over 800 astrological readings, I can tell you that 100% of the time, the deepest, most painful, biggest wound in a person's life can be identified and found through identifying what sign and what house they have Chiron in. In fact, we did a reading today for a beautiful woman in France who has been going through extreme emotional trauma. She's been unable to find stability and security and safety and grounding. And I looked at her chart, and sure enough, her Chiron, the deepest wound, is in the sign of Taurus. And Taurus represents stability, security, grounding, and safety. I was able to share this with her and let her know that this is a deep wound that she's probably carried for lifetimes. And there is a need for deep healing. And so whenever Chiron enters the stage, whenever our awareness goes to Chiron, such as today with Chiron, the Wounded Healer for the collective, being exactly opposite the sun. You know, have you ever heard, what's your sign? Well, what they're talking about is where was the sun? What constellation was it in at the time of your birth? And so right now, the sun is currently in the astrological sign of Virgo. And Chiron, the Wounded Healer, is directly opposite it in Pisces. And so what does this mean, right? For those of you who don't follow astrology, for those of you who've never heard of Chiron before, after my experience of looking at over 800 charts now and knowing that every person I've worked with and I'm able to pinpoint and identify where Chiron is, it is so deeply effective to them emotionally, and they have awarenesses and insights. In fact, the woman I worked with today, after I was able to share with her about Chiron in her chart, she said it had changed her life because now she understood where so much of the pain, so much of the deep sadness, so much of the lack of security and stability and the ability to ground was coming from. And so many people might be feeling, with Chiron opposite the sun, a sense of deep grief or loss that is inexplicable, unexplainable, and yet it causes them to want to rest, to sleep, and to escape from reality. And so let me explain a little bit more deeply about what it means for the sun in Virgo to be opposite Chiron in Pisces. So let's go to the actual sky and let's check out what sign the sun is actually in right now, just to get further insight. So the sun is actually in the constellation of Virgo. If this is a surprise to you and you've thought that the sun was Libra, that's true in mainstream astrology. Mainstream astrology, however, is based on where the stars were 2,000 years ago and is no longer accurate to the actual sky. So I love to get to stellarium because stellarium is just a picture of the sky. It's just what is happening up in the sky right now. And so we currently have the sun in the constellation of reality, Virgo. Virgo is the earth. Virgo is the physical body. You can see that the constellation itself looks like a woman's body. Some say Virgo represents the Earth Mother. Virgo represents everything that is practical and real. Virgo people born between the dates of October, let's see, September 13th and November 1st, approximately, tend to be very meticulous, very detail-oriented, very health-oriented, very much people who are of service to help other people. It is the sign of doctors, nurses, nutritionists, yoga teachers. It is the sign of the details of life, cleaning, organizing, health, maintenance, sleep, routine, diet, health, exercise, getting our lists, getting our ducks in a row. It is the quintessential sign of reality, if you will, physical, earthly reality, and all of the ingredients that allow us to live a healthy, productive life. And so at this time of the year, with the sun in Virgo, Mercury in Virgo, Mars in Virgo, and now Venus, the feminine energy and also the billionaire planet representing greatest wealth, moving into Virgo, means this is a time for getting organized. This is a time to take care of our health. It's a time to prepare for the winter, as Virgo represents the harvest and taking the harvest in and then storing it, labeling it, organizing it. We are sorting, sifting, and separating all of the experiences of 2025. It's a big time for people to get prepared for the next leg of the journey. Now, all of this earthy, practical energy in Virgo is currently opposed or opposite or in polarity to Pisces, where we currently have Saturn and Chiron. Sometimes I have to spin it a little bit. There we go. So we have Pisces here. Okay, just give me a moment here. There's Taurus. Okay, there's Saturn. Good. Okay, so we have Pisces. Pisces, as you can see, is this two fish right here. Pisces is a water sign. We currently have Saturn there, opposite the sun, and Chiron, opposite the sun. So where the sun is in an earth sign, Virgo, grounded, meticulous, organized, health conscious, detail conscious, we have Chiron in Pisces. Pisces is the water. Pisces is the emotion. Pisces is intuition. It's going with the flow. It's tuning into our feelings. It's tuning into our soul. It's turning into our inner guidance system. And so Chiron in Pisces, and it's been in Pisces for this entire year, relates to an inner wound around our connection to God, our connection to spirituality, our connection to what is inside of us, what comes through us. Pisces is the quintessential channel of divine spiritual energy. And their role is to be in the world, but not of the world. Pisces people are the quintessential spiritual, intuitive guidance tool. And whether that guidance or information comes down through art, comes down through music, comes down through creative dance, or through psychic channeling or psychic healing, Pisces is the flow. And it's our connection to source, and it's our connection to something deeper. And so for the deepest wound, which Chiron is and which Chiron represents, to be in Pisces, it's so interesting that we've had so much combat happening between two different religious, spiritual countries. And we've had this happening for thousands of years. And it's been so up in the media, up on everyone's minds. And yet, just like it's occurring in the outer world, we also have to address, what is that bringing up within me? What spiritual energy, Chiron and Pisces, what wound in my spiritual energy is this time bringing to the forefront? And so one thing that my partner and I, because we do energy work, we do energy clearing work, we work with people daily to assist them to remove blockages to their goals, their dreams, their desires coming true. I've just been working with a beautiful dear friend of mine who has been dealing with chronic fatigue, Lyme's, and various other health challenges. And yesterday we did a session that went very deep, clearing the ancestral field. And she told me at the end of the session that her body felt the most relaxed, the most free, the most grounded she'd felt in many, many years. It was absolutely stunning and surprising. And so knowing the astrology, I know that Chiron could be bringing up everyone's deepest wound related to our connection to source, our connection to God, our connection to our inner truth. You might be going through with the sun in polarity to Chiron, a lot of questioning of yourself, a lot of self-doubt, a lot of confusion about what does your heart really want? Where are you really headed? It could be bringing up to the surface, because all that astrology really is a re-stimulation of frequencies and vibrations that have come before to bring up to the surface trapped, stuck emotions and traumas from the collective to assist all of us to fully and deeply heal. And so knowing that not only is Chiron opposite the sun, the greatest wound, opposite the greatest light, right? So we have the greatest light shining upon the deepest wound, which could potentially result in some type of healing. And Pluto, the planet of intensity, the planet of the underworld, our subconscious, things that have been hidden, buried, kept secret is actually finally, after 3 months, finally gone direct. And so what does all of this energy mean? It means that the energy for healing, the energy for transformation, the energy to confront deep things that have been buried for lifetimes is very much up. And it's a very powerful time for healing. And so my partner and I have decided to launch a 5-day, 5 moves to go clear, 5 moves to clear yourself of stuck energy, stuck traumas, negative emotions, things that have been holding you back. And we're going to reveal the methods that we use in our energy clearing practice, along with the astrology that I do, to assist us in helping people to heal at the root, the deepest, most stuck energies you could imagine. One of the things we're going to be sharing is very, very exciting, and we'll be releasing a video in the next day to show this to all of you. But if you are experiencing deep emotional awareness, if you will, if you're feeling things coming up to the surface and you're feeling a bit lost or overwhelmed, or the feeling could feel almost like drowning, because Chiron in Pisces is a water sign, right? So it represents the waters of emotion. And having the sun, the greatest luminary, shining directly upon it could be bringing that awareness of what's hidden and underneath the surface up into the light. And so come join us next week, October 13th through the 17th. It's a free event to come and address what these planetary bodies might be bringing up to the surface. Come to get clear and learn 5 different methods, 5 different ways to confront the energetics that might be being brought up to the surface for you around ancient, past, old, buried, stagnant, stuck energy. Because this is a time, just as there's great intensity, it's also a fabulous and phenomenal opportunity for healing. And so if things are intense for you, if a lot is coming up to the surface, I would actually invite you to see it as an opportunity to heal. Please share in the comments if you are experiencing deep emotions coming up to the surface, because you're not alone. In fact, as I've tuned into the collective the last couple of days, it's felt like, gosh, this is deep. This is very intense. And so I wanted to share with you a little bit about Chiron, the Wounded Healer in Pisces, what that looks like, as well as what is Pluto? What does it mean that Pluto, the planet of the underworld, has gone direct? What is that energy? And why is it so important to our current time and how we're feeling right now and the things that are being brought up to the surface? So number 1 is that Pluto is a very slow moving planet. And when it goes into a sign, it will be in that sign for 13 years. And so for those of you that don't know, Pluto represents the deep, buried, suppressed subconscious, all of the secrets, the things that we don't want to confront. It's the cave, it's the underground, it's the secret society, right? It's the secrets of society. It's the secrets we don't want to confront. And so Scorpio energy is very deep. It's very intense. I'm sorry, Pluto energy. Pluto rules Scorpio, right? So Pluto represents scorpionic type energy. Scorpio energy is very intense. It is the energy of investigation. It's the energy of exploration. It rules the processes of life and death, the processes of self-exploration, inner transformation. It is the explorative journey of getting to know better. Okay. And so what's really interesting is that Pluto, this sign of intensity, and let's learn a little bit more about what Pluto energy looks like. So Cahill Gibran really confronted the energy of Pluto well. For life and death are one, even as the river and the sea are one. Okay, so Pluto forces us to confront the gateways and the doorways of life and death. And this is so interesting, given the fact that we are currently approaching in the Celtic New Year the time of winter. In the Celtic New Year, winter begins on November 1st. And so Halloween is actually the last day of the autumn, right? And so here's a picture of Pluto, or Hades, depicted in Greek mythology and Roman mythology. And he represents the god of the underworld, right? Kind of scary, kind of creepy, right? But life and death are all part of the same cycle. And so Pluto has been retrograde for literally 3 months. And so it's been a really deep dive because retrograde means going deep into the past. And so the house of an astrology chart, there's 12 houses of an astrology chart. The 8th house is related to Pluto. Pluto rules the 8th house. And so Pluto is all about transformation. It's all about ancient esoteric information. It's about divine soulmate union. It rules birth, sex, death, transformation, intensity, bringing the secrets up to the surface, right? And so it's been a very powerful time with Pluto retrograde for the last 3 months. And now it is preparing and is direct. And so Pluto is like the phoenix. It represents rebirth, just like Scorpio is all about rebirth. Pluto is all about rebirth. And so there's a feeling of rebirth happening as Pluto moves from having been retrograde, which means appearing to move backwards, to beginning to move forwards, forward moving energy. But Pluto is in a very interesting sign. Pluto is currently in the same sign that it was at the signing of the Declaration of Independence in the United States. And the Declaration of Independence, of course, wrote, "For we hold this truth to be self-evident, that all men and women are created equal," right? With liberty and justice for all, right? Now, that's an abridged version. But Pluto entered Capricorn on July 4th last year, very powerfully. And so it is actually in the same degrees that it was at the signing of this huge Declaration of Independence, this huge shift in the government. And it has been in this sign for the entire year. And it just went retrograde for 3 months. And so we've had to face a lot of old, deep issues in humanity. Okay. And so as it moves forwards, what are some of the things that we can expect? Well, we currently have it in Capricorn. So what is Capricorn, right? Capricorn represents the government, right? It represents the physical, material reality. Structure. It represents discipline. And so one great image for Capricorn is the image of this ancient Greek Colosseum, because Capricorn represents structure. It represents physical manifestation, creating something that lasts, something that is real, something that is solid. And so having the planet of transformation, the planet of change, the planet of bringing what is underneath and hidden up to the surface in Pluto is a little bit like having major demolition or construction site going on in the collective. And here's the thing, Pluto will be in Capricorn for the next 13 years. And so the government, business, people in authority, the structures that we're used to depending on and relying on for security and for basing reality on are changing. Pluto's going in there and he's bringing up to the surface the truths, the secrets, the hidden things that we have not confronted in our governments, in our countries for hundreds, if not thousands of years. And so that means it's not a great time to depend on the government for any sort of stability. And nowhere is that more clear with the current government shutdown in the United States and in other countries. So Pluto is now direct in Capricorn, the sign of government. And next year, 2026, it will go to the exact same degrees that it was at the signing of the United States Declaration of Independence. Get ready for 2026 because this year, 2025, has been very challenging for a number of reasons. One, it is the year numerologically of 9. 9 is the last number of the numerological 1 through 9. And it marks endings and completion. And so if you want more insight about what this 9 year has been all about, think back to 9 years ago, okay? 2017. What were you doing then? What was happening in the world? 2025 marks the completion of all the stuff, all the things that were getting started in 2017. And 2026 will mark the new beginning where we are going into the future because next year, 2026 is a 1. A 1 numerologically is all about the individual. It's all about number 1. It's all about shining. It's all about going forwards. And nowhere is that more true than when you also add in the component that next year in the Chinese astrology will be a horse, the sign of the horse, the fire horse. In Chinese astrology, the horse represents charging forwards. It's all about new adventures. It's all about exploration. It's the charge. And fire is all about ignition, starting. And so it's a 1 and a fire horse. And so next year is going to be full of momentum, full of energy. But this year is not quite done. Okay, and so it's a 9. So there's still this energy of completion. Pluto just went direct, but we still have 4 other planets that are retrograde. And 2025 was the year of the snake. Snakes are notorious for being a bit secretive, and they are also notorious for shedding their skin. And so when you add together the fact that this has been a year of 9, which is completion, which is finishing past projects, which is letting go of the past, and the fact that it's the year of the snake in Chinese astrology, and that 4 planets are retrograde, the sun is currently conjunct Chiron, or opposite. This is a time where so much emotional debris from the past is being brought up to the surface. Everything in life externally is a re-stimulation of past events, memories, and experiences from our earlier childhood, or even farther back in the DNA or in the past life field. And so it's a really good time between now and 2026 to do energy work, to do energy clearing. And my partner and I are sharing the most incredible 5-day, 5 moves to clear your energy field, to clear the emotional debris, to clear the blockages, that have been holding you back for eternity to finally break through and break free. It's a free event, and we're going to be sharing with you the processes that we use that have enabled our clients to make thousands of dollars, manifest their dream job, release themselves from past pain, and step forward into ecstatic, joyful lives where everything in their lives going forwards. I just interviewed one of our students, many of our students actually, who just completed level 3 of our training for energy healing and energy clearing. And he shared with me that, life isn't all unicorns and rainbows. He said, but I'm actually kind of feeling like it is. And when you have tools that can allow you to clear anytime you have a negative feeling, or as he said, you feel crappy, you step into so much power, self-empowerment, and the ability to transform, even when we're in an astrological year of 9, where all of our stuff gets brought up, the year of the Chinese snake, which is all about shedding skin and letting go of old stuff. And currently having 4 planets retrograde, which are related to the past, related to all the energies we have not let go of, we have not gotten over yet, that are still lingering. And if you're wondering why you're tired, tiredness is often a symptom of unresolved emotional traumas coming up to the surface to be felt. Yet we're so busy, do we have time typically to take the time out to slow down and to release or clear these challenges, these memories, and this pain? And so this time asks us to go within as we prepare for 2026, as we prepare for these new beginnings, to clear out the closet, to clear out the attics, to clear out all the drawers with all the stuff layered around, getting in the way of your future self. Remember, if you're feeling pressure, it's an opportunity, just like the diamond is made through a piece of coal being pressurized, or lemonade from the lemon being squeezed, or the bowstring that has to be pulled back in order to let that arrow fly to hit the bullseye. Pressure, tension creates the energy to manifest. So if you would like to get a step up in clearing all the stuff that the energetics of the astrology are pushing up to the surface big time right now, come join my partner, Michael Grady, and I next week, October 13th through the 17th. You want to be there. We are going to be sharing processes that we have never shared before that are truly life-changing. They're not only life-changing, they are life-saving. I just interviewed, I think, the 4th student of ours that we've been training these modalities to, who has used the training, the processes we've taught them to save lives, to save animal lives, and to save human lives. And so if you're a healer, if you're an empath, if you're an intuitive, if you're someone who wants to help other people, the tools that we're going to be teaching and sharing with you all next week, October 13th through the 17th, you want to be there. You want to be there, because we're not going to have the replay up forever. So come experience it. These processes we're going to share with you are worth a lot of money in terms of their ability to help and heal other people. But we want to share them. We want you to know how to use them for yourself, because we've seen what they can accomplish, what they can do, and what they can create in the lives of the people who use them, who practice them, who actually take them seriously. And so I'm just going to share the slide with you all and invite you personally to come join us. I'm very excited. I'm going to be sharing something I call my oneness lotus clearing, where I actually tap into the energetic of the divine source, and we clear from there. So here is the 5 moons to go clear. It'll be beginning October 13th through the 17th, 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. If you would like to register, you can go to energyclearingmastery.com. My partner, Michael Grady, is incredible. He is a master healer, and one of his greatest gifts is that he has this uncanny precision and accuracy with testing what needs to be cleared, testing how far back on your timeline, what past life, what ancestor, what area in the DNA needs to be cleared. Uncanny, incredible ability. He comes from a background of being an incredible stage hypnotist with uncanny results that he gave to the people who attended his performances. And we specialize in clearing past life, ancestral, and energetic challenges, energetic influences that may be getting in the way of your healing. So we really invite you to come. It's going to be phenomenal. If you've been to our events before, you know they're always life-changing, and the attendees have huge wins, huge results that are somewhat mind-boggling. One 5-day event we did, one woman got on the call because we're going to be doing energy clearing with you all. And she literally said to Michael, she said, I want $1,000 in the morning. You helped me manifest money before. There's $1,000 I am owed. Please help me manifest this $1,000 by tomorrow morning. Michael said, well, I'm not sure, if we're going to be able to do that, but I'll do my best. And sure enough, the next day, there was the $1,000. So come join us. We want to assist you. We want to share these gifts with you. We know the energetic climate is intense. We know that you may be having stuff come up to the surface. And so we're going to take 5 days to teach and share 5 very distinct, specific methods that you can use for yourself, that you can use with your friends, your family, your loved ones, people in your life who are going through challenges, to clear at the core root level deep issues that may be stopping you from achieving your goals, your dreams, and your desires. So we're very, very excited to share this event with you. If you have any questions, send me a message. We look forward to having you join us. Michael and I have used these clearing techniques not only with our clients, not only with our friends, but are in our own relationship to heal at the deepest levels. And if any of you are in a relationship, relationships will bring up the deepest things that need to be healed. So if you would like some methods that genuinely, deeply, and completely heal, come and join us. We're excited. We are ecstatic. We are glowing with joy to share these methods with you, because they have assisted us, assisted me to heal, and Michael to heal, and our clients to heal at levels we never thought were possible. So come join us. Let's lift the frequency on this planet. Let's give you some relief from some of the intensity that the current astrological energies are bringing up. And let's step into our true potential, our true power, our true purpose, and shine our light so bright that we just sail on into 2026 and start the magic and miracles early. Biggest love, y'all. I wish you a beautiful night. Remember how spectacular you are, and know that the density and intensity of Chiron with the sun, it's strong medicine. So let it do its job and let it bring up to the surface that which needs to heal, that which needs to clear, because that is the biggest gift that it is giving you. Biggest love. Aloha.
Wounds carved deep like ancient stone. A scar is a map to the unknown. Chiron whispers where the pain has grown. Shadows fall, but light is shown. Blossoms with the stars they lead, healing hearts where wounds still bleed. Chiron brighter path where fears have fled, blossoms with the stars they lead, healing hearts where wounds still bleed. Chiron's light.